Welcome to An Author's Dream. I'm your host, Brigid Kennedy. Chapter 2 starts off at Ornmore, the Kennedy clan's family castle. I was fortunate enough to have traveled to Galway and stood before this magnificent structure.
Ornmore, where the Kennedys passed down their clan skill from generation to generation. It is a key feature in my book, and there is a significant reason they all had to become Master of Blades.
This chapter showcases a few more characters that I would like to present to you as chibi characters. This is Robbie Kennedy, Kat's loyal and protective older brother. He's seen here roughly raking his hands through his hair, his tail whenever he's frustrated. And this is Seamus, the villain's only son, heir to the O'Flaherty clan.
You look so pretty when you tell me that you love me. I wish that I could.
And this is Demon, the leader of the O'Flaherty clan. Legend has it that this clan was the most feared and violent clan in all of Galway, and wherever goblets were raised, the townsfolk would flee from the town to seek safety from the mayhem of the O'Flahertys. Chapter 2, earlier that evening. Glancing around at my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary ball, I spotted a server approaching with a tray of freshly poured whiskey. Perfect timing. I licked the last dregs from my glass and beckoned him over with a gloved finger, the white silk catching the candlelight. Fresh tumbler in hand, I began my retreat towards a secret servant's passage and the well-deserved solitude of my bedroom. Then I saw Robbie. My brother stood surrounded by O'Flaherty brutes, the most feared, most violent family in all of Galway. I spotted the midnight black suede jacket immediately. I didn't need to see his face. Seamus O'Flaherty, the dangerously beautiful prince of the clan. The bully who made my brother's school years hell. Amid the clansmen's bulging shoulders and towering frames, I caught glimpses of Robbie's frantic eyes and pleading hand gestures. He was in trouble, big trouble. I knocked back the three-fingered pour. The fiery liquid coursed down my throat, watering my eyes. I pounded on my chest in the most unladylike manner, and a string of curses exploded in my mind. Liquid courage was not all it was cracked up to be. Once I recovered, I planted my feet and tightened my core. My dress was well stocked. Hidden sheaths for daggers in key locations. Grandma Bonnie's advice echoed in my mind. 'Tis best to be prepared when trapped in a room with the O'Flaherty clan. I hovered my fingers above the two concealed hilts, ready for whatever came next, just as a swaying group of thoroughly sloshed clansmen danced into my line of sight. Terrible timing. When I found a gap, Seamus was pointing in my direction, his wickedly sensual smile fixed on me. I ducked. Me? What did I do? Hunched over, I peered through the crowd. Several brutes turned their stares my way. I crouched lower, hiding in the sea of guests. Another gap. Robbie stood, clenching his eyes, raking his hands roughly through his golden hair, his tail when things spun frustratingly out of his control. Whatever Seamus had said made him furious. Leaving my brother in his brethren's grip, Seamus crossed to where his father sat, Demon O'Flaherty, the clan leader. He leaned close, and whatever he whispered caused Demon's cruel mouth to curl into a sly grin. I held my breath, watching, so focused I missed the drunken clansmen partying around me until I stood fully exposed. Taking advantage of the open view before him, Demon sneered down his crooked nose at me as dread coiled in my chest. His onyx eyes narrowed, flicked to the golden family crest in the center of the dance floor, and then back to me. But his gaze lingered too long. Not the way men look at women, but the way hunters studied prey they had been tracking for years. He had made a decision. I could feel it, something filled with malice and something else, recognition. Danger, my gut screamed at my too still body, warning me. Or was it my guardian angel? It was too hard to tell, now that all my senses were blaring with panic alarm. The air around me turned to ice, my breath fogged, my skin prickling with unnatural cold, but the woman beside me fanned herself, flushed from dancing. No one else felt the temperature drop, only me. Demon rose to his full height, his soulless eyes locking onto mine as an uneasy hush fell across the ballroom. I scanned the crowd for a familiar face, but not a single Kennedy was in sight. Fine. In that moment, I made a silent vow to my warrior ancestors. I would defend this castle alone if need be. My mind sprang into action, inventorying each hidden blade in my skirts while mapping the quickest route to the back rooms where the weapon racks waited. I knew exactly which blades to grab. A grin tugged at my lips as I imagined the weight of a double-sided battle axe in my hands. One brutal swing sending Demon's greasy head flying through the air. His booming voice shattered the fantasy. A new agreement, he proclaimed, would finally unite two prestigious clans. The wedding agreement for his son, Seamus O'Flaherty, and Catalina Kennedy. The scene that I just read had Kat witnessing an old rivalry between Seamus and Robbie. And in the novellas Untold, I have a special bonus chapter at the end called The Prince's Point of View. It happens this very night from Seamus's point of view, and it describes Robbie's gambling habits, and he got caught up in a poker game with the O'Flahertys, and he ended up losing big time, and he owed this massive debt that he promised to pay back, but he never did. So Seamus is taking it upon himself to let all the other lords and ladies know that the Kennedys do not honor their debts. Grandma Bonnie is introduced through Kat's memory as a wise elder saying, "'Tis best to be prepared when trapped in a room with the O'Flahertys." And she also made sure that Kat's dresses were custom made to hide Kat's favorite weapon, her daggers. The prologue was dated 1810, and chapter 1 was dated as 1825. So it has been 15 years that Kat and Robbie have been in Ireland, training as masters of blades. And Kat takes comfort in her newfound skill knowledge and the fact that her fingertips are hovering right above the hilts of her daggers. But now as an older lady, now 24 years old, She wanted to try that liquid courage, and she slammed back a 3-fingered pour of whiskey. And I added humor here into this because liquid courage is not all what it's cracked up to be. And she felt that fiery liquid course down her throat, and she was pounding on her chest in a very unladylike manner, very much regretting that decision. Once she fully recovered, she braced herself to witness another confrontation between her brother and Seamus. And she thought it was just going to stay between them like always, but their attention quickly turned to her. And to her surprise, she started wondering, what are they talking about? What are they discussing within that circle of the O'Flahertys? And what's making her brother Robbie so frustrated? And she can see his tail raking his hands roughly through his hair. Seamus left Robbie encircled by the O'Flaherty brutes, and he went to go and talk to his father about whatever they were discussing with Robbie. And he was a little too eager to deliver that message, and that message also made Demon's usually cruel face turn into a sly, wicked smile. But if you notice, I didn't have Demon look directly at Cat first. He first looked at the family crest, the Kennedy crest, painted on the ballroom floor. It is painted in gold, and he stares at it for a little while, and he makes a decision right then and there before he looks back at Cat. And she could feel that it's not really her that the decision is being made of, but something with the family, something about some bad mojo, revenge maybe. But she can sense this, and when he looks back at her, what she notices is some sort of recognition. He knows something that she doesn't know yet. She does feel the danger all around her. I wrote that the air turned to ice around her. Her breath fogged. Her skin prickled with an unnatural cold. All of these things are hinting that Demon O'Flaherty is capable of much more than they ever had expected or known through all the years of being clansmen in Galway. But the temperature drop only affected Cat. She was the only one who felt it, because when she started looking around at all the guests near her, she noticed that a lady nearby who was dancing was still fanning herself. So she started to kind of piece things together in her mind, but yet she doesn't know exactly what's happening here. Cat senses that something big is about to happen. And whenever something big with Demon O'Flaherty happens, it's never anything good. She's thinking that he's going to declare war on the clan. And as she starts looking around the ballroom, she can't spot a single one of the Kennedys to help back her up. And she just became a master of blades, and she's very proud of the skills that she has learned, and she's very confident in herself. And I think another point of humor in this book is that when she looks around and she's the only one there, she's like, fine. And she made a silent vow to her ancient warrior ancestors that she would defend this castle alone if need be. So her ancient warrior ancestors, I wanted to bring them in because these were the ancestors that decided that the clan needs this skill. Something happened way back when, and they knew that they had to learn to fight and learn the way of the blade. Because whatever they faced in their time, they knew that their generations to come will need that training. I was thrilled that I was able to share some of Kat's inner thoughts throughout this book, written in the italics, or even what's going on in her mind, to let you kind of see what her nature is like. And I wrote, her mind sprang into action, and she was inventorying every blade hidden within her skirts. And she mapped the quickest routes to the back rooms where the weapon racks waited, and that she knew exactly which weapon to grab. And the one that she was going to go for was a double-sided battle axe, one of the ancient Celtic weapons that could cause the most destruction. And I went on to give her this warrior fantasy of her walking straight up to Demon and chopping his head off and watching his head fly through the air. But I went one step further, watching his greasy head flying through the air. And then his booming voice interrupted her fantasy, and she knew this is it. This is the declaration of war that she has been prepping for at these few moments. And he didn't give a declaration of war. It was a declaration of marriage. As an author, and knowing what I wrote and what I just put Kat through, I wonder at this point in time, what exactly would be going through Kat's mind?
Kat, the announcement, you didn't see it coming?
I know.
You see it coming?
I should have grabbed a third.
It is my favorite part of the episode, unboxing time. And today I am wearing the merch shirt that was revealed last episode. It has the Kennedy crest on the lapel, and on the back it says, "Legends Unborn, they're forged together." And I absolutely love this long sleeve shirt. And I'm told that there is not a shirt inside this box, but something else. So let's find it together. All right, here we go. Pop open the tape and oh, I love it. I love it. It is a Kennedy crest baseball cap. Oh, let's see how it fits. It is the perfect baseball cap size. And look at that, the Kennedy crest. I am set. Let's go. Let's go. I am set. Next week, join me for a new episode of An Author's Dream. Like and subscribe.